Hello, 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 everybody. We are once again here for more EUROBOWL 2025 Hungary roster and national team interviews. This time I am joined by my own, the representative of the team of Team Finland, and Mr. Captain Tonalt. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, nice to talk to you again, and it's great to be here and discuss a little bit Blood Bowl and the EuroBowl scene. It's exciting times. Yeah,
Yeah, always is when EuroBOWL's coming around. Yeah, exciting times indeed.
exactly.
But yeah, always happy to have you. We as you mentioned, we did have you the last time, and we also did
Yep.
even have a stream about talking more in depth about the tournament, like what happened. We're gonna cover that a little bit, like a brief recap of what happened in 2024 in this stream as well.
Okay.
But yeah, let's start off with so who are you, and like what's your background when it comes to Blood Bowl?
I'm Aku is my real name, playing with the nickname Tonalt. I've been playing in the Finnish tournament scene since 2017 here, but I've been around a bit longer. I played Blood Bowl on and off since the early 2000s. That's why I have the coveted NAF number that is under 10,000. So I had a long break from tournaments, but I started early. But yeah, I've been the Finnish captain for two EuroBowls now. This is my second one. There was a Poland that was because of COVID it was cancelled, but
Mm.
now it's my second time. First time in Athens, and now here. And really looking forward to see what we can do, who we're gonna face, and what's the end result. Of course we're gonna try to get a better results than last year,
Mm.
which can be tough.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, we are like I mean, I'm certainly looking forward to it because like I think that Finland has a very strong team. Like I thought we had a strong team last year as well, but like I feel
Right.
that we have a strong team here as well. So I I'm certainly looking forward to hearing of Finland winning in Eurobowl. Like that would be great. Um, but yeah, the
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Looking a little bit into like in depth into how does the Finnish national team, like how is it chosen? How do we do things? Because like there previously we've got like Slovenia and Australia who, due to
Mhm.
differing circumstances, were like, can we get 8 players to represent the nation? And if they could, they'd form a team. Versus then we've got teams like England and Wales and France, more than like that have a fairly in-depth system of how does the national team form.
Right. I think we're in a sweet spot at the moment. Our scene is big enough that we have a lot of players to choose from, and but still we're small enough that we know everyone. The method of choosing the firstly the captain, and then he chooses the method of choosing the team.
Mm.
And I'm 100% sure this wouldn't work in the bigger countries because there are multiple communities, multiple leagues all over the country, and it this system works for us because everyone knows everyone. It's gonna be so the how we end up choosing our captain is actually we're gonna vote on the trip.
Mm.
So everyone who goes to Eurobowl or Euro Open gets to vote, and they get one vote, and whoever is chosen as captain gets to be the dictator for a year, and that's basically it. And it's been working for pretty well lately, and we'd had I got voted in Malta. I offered myself up for the job, and this year I'm gonna step down, and let's see who's we have two contestants at the moment who are going to be voted on. There might be a third
Mm.
or someone else. It's always up to the people who are there. We nominate people, and then we take a vote. Yeah,
Mm.
and the captain's job is to explain the method of choosing the team, and it's part of the when you vote, you kind of explain to the people who are there how are you going to do the thing. What's your plan for choosing a team, and that's the basis for the vote. But of course, it's a small group of people, so the friendships and stuff like that, of course, they affect the vote. But in a way, as I said, we're such a small team where everyone knows everyone, and people really just want us to succeed and wants to do the best for the team. So I'm 100% sure that we're gonna have a really good captain after me as well.
Yeah.
But of course, for the bigger countries, this wouldn't work because I could just pick 7 of my friends and that's it. Because we are truly a dictatorship.
He state his love for Kemria. No, we're a little early on that, but we'll I'm sure we'll get to it in a moment, Juicy Beer. But yeah, glad to have you. Always a pleasure to get you. But yeah,
that's the inside jokes about that's the inside jokes about my captainship. Like I said at some point that the Tomb Kings are not gonna be on the team, and our community has loved me for it. And as you can see from the rosters, things have changed.
There's a couple of things that I'm looking at, like when and comparing to other nations that we're definitely gonna get into when we get to the rosters as well. There's a couple of discrepancies and a couple of interesting choices. But yeah, no, like it sounds a little bit. I mean, I don't. I feel it's slightly unpatriotic of me to say this, but it sounds maybe a little bit similar to what Sweden has been doing, in that like they have a similar position where the captain sort of puts out like, this is how I'm going to, like, this is my philosophy of how to form the national team. So,
yeah.
But
in that sense, yeah, but they do it the right way. So they do it on a form. They have a explanation. They have a schedule for it.
They have a shitload of spreadsheets as well. It's
yeah, exactly. And we're gonna be on the trip, and we're gonna be drunk, and it's part of the fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, there's been like there have been intellectuals in the past who think that it was a great idea to debate an idea both sober and drunk, and if it's a good idea both times, then it's an excellent idea. So it's like we're emulating that at least a little bit here.
Yeah, let's leave the part without getting drunk to the other teams. We have a reputation to keep up.
Yeah, true enough. I mean that okay. Maybe we don't do it sober. Maybe we do it like drunk and hungover, and is when the debates happen, and it brings a special flavor out in the Finnish team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, but as we've already covered, like it's an interesting idea of like just like it is always going to be a fairly like small group of people who are going to be getting the votes in, but like they're also going to be probably some of the most dedicated like blood bowlers that the community has, because going to EuroBowl, especially if you're part of the Euro Open team, right, like is a big time and financial commitment a lot of the times, and like so exactly. they're going to be dedicated to the hobby. So everybody has I feel a good motivation to see our team and our community like grow and learn and go
forth. And the like good indication of how many of our active scene is at the in Hungary this year. We're bringing 28 people to Hungary. So we beat the Swedes, we beat the Danes. We can out wrestle them finally.
Yeah. That's
so just
It's an impressive amount of blood bowlers, like in a way, like especially coming off of the like talking to the Slovenian team captain, where like their big tournament like goal was that they want to get one of their tournament goals to be like 30 people. Is like if they can
Yeah,
reach that, that's a very big win for their community. So like
exactly.
it does show very much like the sort of scale of like just of the Finnish community in a way.
Yeah. And I have to say that it is a continuation of the work that the people before me have started, and it's been people have taken a lot of their free time and built the community, and the results are starting to show. It is a group effort, and there's so much love in our community for Blood Bowl, and it is just at times even overwhelming. So and I love these trips just because it is so great to see all the guys and girls who end up going to the trips and see the international friends as well. So
Yeah.
it is one of the highlights of the year, definitely.
Yeah. EuroBowl is quite rightly considered a real celebration of Blood Bowl. I feel like, and
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, so and hopefully it'll keep prospering and growing and doing well in the future as well as the hobby seems to generally be doing. Like through all of these interviews, like all of the team captains and who are in the know have been talking about how like community is growing and like there's more and more people interested in the hobby, and like it seems very positive trends like all over the world when it comes to Blood Bowl, like and that's a
Yeah,
very good
yeah.
sign.
And I'm gonna say that on unpopular opinion that even though no one likes Games Workshop, but they've done a hell of a service for the community after 2016
Mm.
when they brought out the new minis and the new edition.
Yeah,
It's exploded from that.
yeah, yeah. No, I do think that they managed to like strike hot iron at the at a very good time to bring back. When like my first contact with like Blood Bowl happened like way before like the 2016 like and like I remember it being like, oh, this is a like a nice sort of niche like specialist game like many other like games for like Games Workshop, and like it was
Yeah, yeah,
unique because of the sporting aspect of it, like how and the turn based team on team thing.
yep,
But it never struck me as one of those games that would like it would appeal to a certain subset of people, but like to see how the game has changed and what like Games Workshop has done to promote the new like the game like fully with like the all of the model releases and all of that, like I do have to begrudgingly give respect to where it is due to Games Workshop on that
yeah,
regard.
yeah. Yeah, exactly, and but in that way, it's been a group effort, and people have taken what GW Games Dev Workshop gave us and ran with it.
Yeah,
It's been and you can see it in the Eurobowls and the number of people traveling to the Eurobowls.
yeah, absolutely. But I think with that, speaking of as we are of Euroballs, let's have that brief recap of what happened Eurobowl 2024 for in Athens for the you personally and the Finnish team, because I believe you went 2-2-2 with Amazons.
Right. Yeah, I was playing the dirty Amazons with fouling, if I remember correctly. I think so. Yeah,
Mm,
and I have to say, like, it was our best Euro Bowl so far.
mm,
We've been one of those underdog teams that have always wanted to punch above our weight,
mm,
but I think last year we got to show the stuff that the results from all the training, all the hard work that we've seen like done in our country, and it really showed.
mm.
We beat Denmark. We beat Poland, if I remember correctly. We had
Um,
the first,
I
if I remember, or
Yeah,
was it a
I'm
draw?
I'm looking at it here, and I believe like first round
Do you have it?
Finland.
Oh,
I'm looking at the NAF site at the moment.
okay.
Yeah, and I believe Finland won first round versus Cyprus.
Yeah.
Then
That was
second,
yep.
Go ahead. Feel free to open it
Yeah,
up.
the Cyprus was as I was expecting. They were a bit newer players, and it was one of those games that we had to win. But they were good guys, and it was a decent match. But we managed to get the win. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, as you said, second round, there was a win. There was the win against Denmark, which I believe came down to a single game going Finland's way. Let's
Yeah.
see here. There,
Yep.
so Rat Ogre lost against Tank, and then Nama won against Morstad, and then like all of the other games are 1-1 draws, and then you managed to clinch out a 2-1 win against Machurto.
Yeah. That was like EuroBowl is at the level that it's gonna be tight every time with a good game, like with a good team, and Poland is a good team. And you can
Denmark.
see like
Denmark.
Denmark. Sorry, Denmark. Like they're gonna be a really, like, they're gonna win the games that they get the opportunity, they get the dice for it. But I'm happy with that game, that there was so many draws. Of course, we're gonna lose some, and this time we were the lucky ones, and I'm expecting to win the bigger countries. For example, Denmark. I'm gonna say that there's the only country that I'm saying that we might be a bit hard. That's gonna be hard to beat is France.
Yeah.
That's the team that I have to say that their player base is so very good that of course we're gonna go for the win. And we're not gonna give an inch, but it's that in that game we're gonna be the underdogs.
Yeah. Third round was against the U.S. and that was unfortunately a rather a loss for the team, as Nama and Jeho won their games 2-0. But then Yoputsuki and Sex Machine lost their games. You lost against Seoul. Yeah. And then
it was that was one of those games that keeps me up at night against Seoul. I felt like I played a decent game. Well, Seoul, as you probably know, is a very solid coach.
World
I
class.
have to give it like but in that game I felt we were playing good blood bowl on both sides, and he managed to get the one turner, even though I did what I was supposed to. I got his Rat Ogre out, but he still got the one turner. And then he had to roll some 3+s for the another score, but he got them, which happens sometimes. But it's one of those games, like, it was a very good match. It was an interesting and tight match, and he's a good guy. And but it's one of those things that I really would like to have back, but you can't win them all.
Yeah, and it was what the difference maker, as like looking at this, like we then have Evil Smoothie loses his game, but Rat Ogre wins his game, so that like, yeah, it is that was the difference. And yeah, I can understand how that could, especially last game of the first day, which had already like you'd just beaten Denmark, and you were like on two solid wins now, and like you get matched up against a very good team that is the US team. So
yeah, they're good players. Have to give them that.
Then fourth round, I believe you played against Malta.
Right. Okay.
With Nama losing a game, Jeho winning against the real Malteser, Brutopadia gets a draw, Rat Ogre wins. You lost against Balthazar 3-1, which it's kind of vampires.
It was. I have to say, like, that wasn't my best game, but still, it was a rough game. It was a rough game.
Yeah. But then Yupatsuki manages to win his game, and then Sex Machine and Evil Smoothie get a draw. So it was a Finnish victory in the end.
Yeah, I have to shout out one guy in the Maltese team, the Night Sword. He's a young kid. He's a young kid, and he's Bruto. Bruto is hands up one of our best players in Finland, and he's managed to beat Bruto once, and now he got a draw against him. So maybe third time's the charm, and maybe Bruto can beat him next time. Let's see. But he's as everyone here is, the Night Sword is a nice guy as well.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, and I mean, as a young guy, like he probably has a lot of like gets good experience like going to EuroBowl, and he's gonna be like more and more formidable as time goes on. So
indeed, yeah.
Yeah, and then on the fifth round was the Poland matchup, I believe, with you going up against Vinny.
Vinny, yeah, it was Lizardman. Wasn't the best meta for Lizardman, but still they had a Lizardman, and I think I got lucky a bit. I sacked his ball at some point. I removed something, and I'm against Amazons with Lizardman. It's just gonna be almost impossible to get it back.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, even though you and Evil Smoothie and Brutapati are managing to get your wins in there, but we then had Rezka and Kreshu win against Jopachuki and Sex Machine, and Rat Ogre and Nama both also losing with Leonek and Mentos.
Yeah.
But so it was again very like, at least by looking just at the scores, like very very like very very tight matches all over. So
did we end up? Is it a draw or?
That's so. Poland won 1, 2, 3, 4 games, and then
4 games,
and Finland won 3, and there was 1 draw. So
right, okay,
very narrow margin loss to Poland.
Oh yeah, now I remember. Yeah, it's starting to get back to me. Yeah, that was one of those games where we were standing next to the last game, and then I think it was their undead player Mentos playing against Nama, and he really drew the rabbit out of the hat. It was some magical dice in past games, if I remember correctly. It's a bit fuzzy from a year ago, but I think it was that game round. Yeah.
No. And then last but not least, like a very sort of, I feel a nice way in a way to cap out the tournament was 6th round, Sweden.
Yeah.
And
well, we're Swedish champions again, so it's one of those things. We have to give them something, so we can't beat them at everything. So
I mean, a draw against Sweden is certainly a respectable result. With
yeah, and they're good guys, and I was almost losing against In for the Pain. It was very tight. He had a fouling orc roster against my fouling, and he got the damage, and I didn't get anything. And I'm really happy that I didn't lose that one and lose the game for that team. But,
yeah, that would certainly haunt you as well. Like being the game that lost it for the team against Sweden. Like that would be that would be disastrous. Like
yeah, that's true. Yeah, couldn't be the captain for the second time if with that loss. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly a hit to your prestige if nothing else.
Yeah, but I felt good, like in January when we went to Sweden and play in their Swedish championship and we won it. So it kind of felt like that we got it back after that. Yeah.
No. All right. But yeah, we've covered it a little bit, but like what? And Juicy Beer in the chat says everything is fine so long Finland doesn't lose to Sweden. Yeah, I mean that's the baseline. That's it. Like if that happens, it's unacceptable. But like if so long as that's, then everything's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we covered it a little bit. Like, what do you think? Like, what did Finland as a team, like, what did we succeed at in Athens, and what did we trip on? Like, was it just the dice, or was there something else?
That's a hard call to make, and like to be very clear, without if this would be like on an online tournament
Mm-hmm.
where we could watch every replay, every
Yeah, yeah.
move, and then I could probably point out something very specific. But
Mm.
I have to say that the thing that we managed to um, succeed in is we were confident. We understood, like we did the training.
Mm.
We went to every match expecting to at least draw.
Mm.
That was our mindset. And every time we didn't draw or someone lost, it was a personal disappointment. And because everyone wants to do good for the team, and
Mm-hmm.
that I think that's the best part of the EuroBowl format. And we've had many years where things haven't gone our way, and we've been all of us, most of us have been there.
Mm.
But this year everyone was just cheering the others on and expecting and hoping good results. And it was a really nice bunch of guys to play the tournament with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad to hear it because, like, as I said, I thought that we had a strong team last time, and and especially like beating Denmark and like getting a sort of very competitive competitive games against like US and Poland and Sweden like that's gonna give us more confidence going forward. I'm hoping like to like this year's Euroball, because as you said, like you guys did the training and did the all of the like thinking and roster building like with the like winning in mind. So getting
Mhm.
those experiences, getting those like that of like, yeah, we can stand with the biggest of them, like is probably a pretty good thing to get.
Exactly, yeah. And even though it was so close, with the win from Sweden, if we would have managed to win that,
Mm,
it probably would have gotten a podium place. So, which is one of those things that, of course, is gonna leave a bit of a bad
mm,
taste in your mouth. But still, that was our best result ever.
mm, mm,
And not even the result. It was just we're solid players. We were confident.
mm.
We did what we came to do, and that was, I think, that was the biggest like thing that we got out of the tournament.
Yeah.
And of course, there's gonna be personal, and like there were a few things that I remember that going like that didn't go well. Some I remember one coach doing playing a bit too passively because he was thinking that our team was doing better than we actually were, and the
Mm,
situation changed. And it was just like one of those clearer things that could have been gone differently.
mm,
But there's gonna be a bunch of these things like that in a big tournament like this.
mm. And we got Super G in the chat saying hello, hello. Always appreciate people coming in and checking things out as we are. Um, but yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that. Like overall, like it sounds like it was a very positive experience for Finland as a team, and as you said, like we did the best we've ever done. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm certainly hoping that like the fact that we missed the podium by inches, if we should say like that, is gonna it's gonna leave that little bit of a hunger in there, like that, like we like being so close and not making it, like is all the more motivation, right?
exactly. Yeah. And it's like, even though I want to say like we're up there with the big players, but we come from a smaller country.
Mm.
Well, we don't have the player base that the UK, that the French, that Spain has. And I think I it is a great feeling to be punching up and being the underdog in I'm expecting everyone to think, like, look at us as a bit of an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
And fair enough, yeah, probably it is a fair evaluation of us. But of course, like as we showed last time, that it's not gonna be an easy game playing against us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, but I think with that, we can leave the past in the past, and we start looking into the upcoming tournament. And so let's take a look at the rosters that Finland has decided to go with. We do have a couple of names that have changed from Athens as coaches.
Yep.
I believe that Aleksi Meuronen makes an appearance, and somebody by the name of Nameless is in,
Yep.
while Sex Machine and Nama are not included in the roster.
Right. I think the names that you could like are all the players who are here are the top 10-ish Finnish players.
Mm-hmm.
It's I like in every competition, like every EuroBowl, we have to do some difficult decisions. I had to do some of those this time. I did it last time, and it's hard to say. Always hard to say. Is this the best team that we can field? But like I used the data that I had, and after that I made some personal decisions. And I hope I did the right calls. All the players who are here, the Bruto, Evil, Smoothie, Jeho, Yopo, and Red Ogre, they're veterans of our team. They've been around forever,
Yeah.
most of them.
Yeah.
Aleksi Meuronen has been to multiple Eurobowls. He's one of those, like, I don't know what's the, if there's a jack of all trades, he's the opposite of that. So he's the jack of pro elves. Let's put it that way.
He's the specialist. I mean, generally speaking, it would be the one trick pony, but I'm not sure that exactly is a positive. Yeah.
It doesn't apply to Elven Unions because they're just full of tricks.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, it's like a one-trick pony, but the pony also has like a Swiss Army knife of tools at its disposal. So it's like,
yeah. And he's been a menace in our scene with the Pro Elven Union for a long time. He's one of a very good friend of mine. He's my I've had so many training matches against his Pro Elven Union and our other teams as well. But he's one of those old school guys who's just gotten into online Blood Bowl a bit, but he's gonna be a difficult matchup for anyone who's gonna play against his twin diving tackle pro elf blitzers.
And of course, as I try to open the roster, the page refreshes as it seems to be doing. I don't know if it's just like, am I cursed or something, or is it like is it just doing that on purpose or whatever? But
I think it might be the delay. We've been talking too much, so I think that might be it.
Yeah, probably.
So as you can see from their roster, it's gonna be just full on aggression.
Yeah.
From turn one aggression. That's the build.
Oh. And it's not a build that we've seen before from Pro Elves. Like there's like the three catchers build seems to be the most common in Pro Elves. But when you're thinking of skill, like, and there's plenty of blitzers, like people who go blitzer with dodge and timing tackle, but most of them don't go it twice. Most of them like leave the other skill stack to a catcher. And one of the things that also like strikes me is that he has the one thrower and he does not have a skill on the thrower at all. So
yep, I've played against this roster so many times that I definitely believe in the roster, especially when played by him. It's like you can see from the roster, it's not the basic elf column defense roster. And if you're gonna play that game with this roster, you're playing it wrong. So it is like I'm gonna, like, everyone who's gonna play against Alex, it's gonna just like hold on to your hats. It's gonna be fast and furious.
Yeah, no, he's not planning on having 11 players on the pitch after 5 turns is a comment in the chat. And like, I mean, who needs 11 players on the pitch if you're like, after 5 turns he's already winning like 1-0 because he turned over the opposing coach, right? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
No, I mean he does have the apothecary in the bag because like the two blitzers and like the catchers are certainly valuable enough that like he needs to have that safety net or like at least a little bit. I feel so.
Yeah, and he's played the team so much that he doesn't. Of course, everyone does some silly games, and everyone's not no one's perfect all the time.
Mm-mm.
But he's gonna do the smart thing most of the time. He's not gonna give you easy extra hits if it's not necessary.
Mm-mm. And if you are getting extra hits, then that's probably going to be the turn where he has determined that this is the time to disrupt you as much as possible. And
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah.
There is a method to his madness. Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, no, it's like I've like having talked to especially the Swedish guys, like like they are very much a believer in the four catchers, and like their Robo, their vice captain is a big believer in having dump off on the pro elf thrower as well, because comps like it's I can see why. And like
Hmm.
I'm gonna be frank, this is not the roster that I would be going with. But I'm not a pro elf coach, and two, I'm like I would say that I'm much more defensive minded than offensive minded. And this
Yeah.
roster is yeah, it's been made with a different mentality entirely. So
I've been saying to Alexi for such a long time that is this the right way to play it, and then he just brings on the results with it. So
yeah, I mean you
eh,
can't argue with it if he keeps performing well with it. Like he's doing something right, clearly.
yeah, I couldn't play this game, that kind of game, but
Yeah.
that's I'm a different kind of coach.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got Brutapatia, and
Yeah.
and your love of Kemri can now commence.
Yeah, I think it started when people started asking that is it possible to get with Tomb Kings on the EUROBOWL team, and just said no.
And
I might have added after that like come to the tournaments, beat us with Tomb
yeah,
Kings, and then I'll reconsider.
yeah,
But I like for this fact that you can lose your game to a 4+
mm.
with a 75% chance with the reroll. I don't like the fact like that, and it might be different in the next edition, but that is the sole reason why I don't love the team. I wouldn't play that. I play a very mostly grindy teams. Amazons is a weird combination of
Mm.
things, but I'm not the biggest fan of this. But this is the rule set to play Tomb Kings,
Mm.
and now if that is if you're gonna bring them to EuroBowl, it's gonna be this one, and I think Bruto. I think he won some. I don't. Well, he's been playing them for a year or so, and he's been doing really good with them.
Mm.
He's just showed that he can beat us with almost any team,
Mm.
and he's one of those solid players. Every time when you're facing, it's gonna be difficult, and even though he would play, he's gonna play with Doom Kings. It's gonna be a nasty time for his opponent. Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
As for his build, he has very much, I believe, gone with the build that Tomb Kings go with if they go into Euroball, because I believe this is, I'm not sure if this is the only way to build that has been built in Euroball, but I'm pretty sure that this is the majority of the Tomb Kings teams, and it's
yep.
like
Tastes of vanilla. Yeah.
yeah, it's I mean I can just see no wrong with it. Like you have the tackle mighty blow. You've got an extra. Like the one thing that like is whether or not you'd want to like like I can't see, like I would potentially, instead of having four guards on the Tomb Guardians and then a mighty blow on the Blitzer, I could see a world where I put the one of the mighty blows on a Tomb Guardian and then a guard on the Blitzer to have a little bit of a more mobile guard player in case I need it. But
Hmm.
like that's the only sort of realistic change that I can see. That But yeah, no, I mean, again, like Kemri, or Tomb Kings, whatever you want to call them, like is more up my alley. Defensive on a Tomb Guardian, says Juicy Beer. I don't. That's a double, isn't it? It's an agility skill, right?
Yeah, it's a double. Yeah.
Oh, that. I mean, funny as it sounds, you're never doing that. but but yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a funny idea. Yeah.
Yeah, Tomb Kings are definitely more up my alley as teams go, and like I'm on like I don't really like I'm not that afraid of the anointed thrower not managing to pick up the ball. Um,
Right.
I but it's just I like the sort of like I'm weirdly enough, like despite not really playing like bash teams like Orcs and Chaos and that much, like I do very much appreciate just having the strength of 4 Tomb Guardians, right?
Yep.
So, but
And me playing with Amazons, if I can't get the defense to work, it's gonna be a miserable time.
yeah,
And I have to say, like, I don't love playing against them. I totally understand why you would pick him. I just always see the one game out of the tournament that is gonna fail because of the Fur Plus, and
yeah,
that is the biggest reason why I don't like the team. And I'm definitely hoping Bruto show me wrong in that sense, and he's been doing good, and I know there's a lot of Tomb Kings coming here, and
mm.
I lost to him last training match and so on. It's definitely up. It's definitely a tough matchup for me and for many others as well.
Yeah.
But then again, if you find yourself playing against vampires, you might just pack up your minis
Yeah, it's yeah.
before you roll any dice, basically.
Yeah, yeah. Tomb Kings are there's certainly more of them than there were before, as there's 6 people bringing Tomb Kings, but like it's one of those things where it feels like because like Lizardmen used to be more popular in Athens, and now they've dropped to just 7. So I feel like all of the Lizardmen players were like, all right, let's pack up our bags and go to Tomb Kings. It's almost the same team, isn't it? So,
Hmm.
but um, but yeah, it's
I think I think it shows, like, in a way, like the composition of teams. Like, for example, our team is a very meta chasing team, and you can see it from their rosters. We have Elven Union, we have Tomb Kings.
mm.
Um, there's I think the like most on like non-meta team that we have is Shambling Undead. Is
Mm,
one of those. There might be teams that are better. They're not bad in any way or shape or form, but it's they're I think they're not as good as they usually are compared to other teams.
yeah, that I can certainly like agree with on that statement. In that, like a lot of people who I've talked to, like certainly are like more down. Like think that this current rule set doesn't favor doesn't make Shambling Undead as strong as they were before. But they're still present in 18 teams across like 30, so they're still a fairly popular
I,
team, regardless.
yeah, I think it's one of those like if what are the basics, like better bread and
Mm,
butter EuroBowl teams,
yeah,
Undead, Dark Elves, but Dark Elves got
Dark Elves got
like
really
nerfed
yeah. They're
nerfed
they're down to
out of the
3.
tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were thinking about them for a long time. I still think you can play them. They've never been as bad as they are at this tournament, but
Mm-mm.
still, you could play it.
Yeah. And Juicy Beer states that they're quite vulnerable against elves and vamps if they don't manage to pick up the ball and kick off is in the backline to Kemery. And Super
Yeah,
G says Undead is just an all around solid strong. You can rarely go wrong with them, which I agree with.
yeah, yep.
And undead are definitely like necro is even more popular than undead, and they're also considered one of those just very solid teams, like generally regardless of like rule set. But yeah, undead are definitely more up my alley than necro, like just as a personal preference. But I think people might be. I don't know why. Like I feel like Shambling Undead can do just fine in this rule set, but I saw a lot of people be a little like more than a little down on like Undead. But maybe
Hmm.
it's just because like they aren't probably more like as strong as they were in a previous rule set, right? So
Yeah, and I think other teams are just might be a tad stronger. But I
mm,
think if you have a good undead player, you can't go wrong with it. It's gonna be a solid team anyway. They have their strength and guard and movement,
yeah.
and I think like Necro is one of those teams that with the very expensive players, it's one of those. It's gonna be one year bowl. They're gonna be everywhere, and other when they don't get the goal that they need,
Mm,
there's not gonna be any necros around.
yeah.
And this time they got their money and skills.
Yeah, they certainly did. Super G says that, referring to the undead, their defense is somewhat bad, especially in an agile meta, so bit drawy team, but it's so safe with mummy,
Mm.
skill access, and region. Yeah, I would agree. And like this,
Yep.
this meta is less agile, like agility meta than before, because I think this is more of a bash meta than an agility. With vampires being like vampires and Elven Union being the two exceptions to that. Like Amazons, I consider more a hybrid than a pure agility team, even with all of the
Yeah,
dodge run, right?
definitely.
But yeah, no. Since we are on the topic, like it's like the big sort of missing team, if we're talking about meta teams that Finland is not bringing, is the dwarves. Like they are
Yep.
they are the fifth most populous with 20 dwarves across 30 teams, and Finland does not have one.
You can blame Evil Smoothie about that. He's our best dwarf coach. He's been in EUROBOWL for many years at the moment, and when he got to the team, he had two options. It was Necro or Dwarves,
Hmm.
and he went back and forth and ended up picking Necros. We didn't have anyone who would be able to play dwarves at that level that you need in
Mm-mm.
Euroball because it is a solid team, but it's not an easy team.
No, no.
Um, just because they're so slow and it's easy to get surrounded, it's easy to get split up and stuff like
Mm,
that. And if you
mm-mm.
don't know what you're doing, you might just miss out on the touchdowns that you need, and you get outrun and stuff like that. And it, I think even though I'm a dictator, I'm gonna give the coaches their
Mm-mm.
options as much as I can.
Mm.
And Evil Smoothie went with Necro this time.
Yeah. And I mean that is a good segue to moving up, because Evil Smoothie is up next, and he's gone with like we've seen this roster, I believe, like before in another team. Well, he went for the Killer Wraith instead of having a guard on it, which does leave him with only the one werewolf.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, we've been talking about this. Like we have two really good necro coaches. I'm sorry if I don't remember someone else,
mm,
but they were thinking about the rosters, and as you do, they tried different builds, and I think this is the one that they felt most comfortable with.
mm,
And it's one of those. It's their comfort that is important in that sense,
mm, mm,
because it's gonna be like most of the games. If you don't drop one of this ball carrying players too early, you're gonna be fine.
mm,
But there's bound to be a game where you lose a ghoul or your wolf,
mm,
and it's gonna be a miserable time.
mm, mm.
But yeah, I'm counting them to carry it out without, even though it might go bad if they lose, for
Mm.
example, a ghoul or werewolf.
Mm. And I mean, there is also the like you are quote unquote only like fielding three guards, versus the normal four for the average necro roster, right?
Yeah.
So that like, but I do appreciate the tackle mighty blow wraith, And you know, there's 27 out of 30 countries are bringing an Amazon team, and like if you get matched up to an Amazon team or even the Pro Elf team, really, like you'd rather have the Wraith tackle Mighty Blow than the Wraith with just the guard.
I hate playing without tackle in my
Yeah,
team. Is because
yeah,
I don't have any way of bringing people down. Okay, I have the wrestle, but I think the tackle is a good piece to have.
mm,
It's gonna be down to matchups. It's gonna be if he's gonna face a lot of orcs, Tomb King, stuff like that. Then
yeah,
he
yeah,
he might be feeling a bit bad without like missing the one card. But again, you have 3 rerolls. You have 12 guys,
yeah.
and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, as Super G in the chat, I think in a really tight game versus a top coach, you need all the ball carriers and claw high roll potential werewolves bring. But if you play better and slash safe, then 3 rerolls might save you from more disaster. Yeah, like the werewolf, because it comes with the frenzy and it doesn't have the greatest of armor, and it is still only an agility 3+ priest, right? Like it can be, like get you in a bad spot just by like even if it's not a turnover roll, like just the frenzy, like forcing you to move forward can get you into a bad spot. So the third reroll certainly makes like it gives you that extra layer of just safety. I feel but I
Yeah,
can,
and
yeah.
it's a crappy team to score with, and they're not good at offense.
Mm,
So they're gonna need the rerolls there. They're awesome in defense, but
yeah.
and I think this is one of those things that these are so small changes. Of
Mm,
course, you can argue like either or.
mm,
Both are decent-ish, but if you can play around the weaknesses of your roster,
mm,
I'm gonna say with good coaches, it's not the game-changing thing that do you have the 2 reels and
yeah.
the 2 wolves,
Yeah.
or do you have this roster?
Yeah. Yeah, no, as you mentioned before, like it is down to like having a coach be comfortable with the team that they're running is an important aspect of, I feel like, them playing to their fullest potential, even if something might be mathematically, like a build might be more ideal, like just pure like maths wise.
Yeah, exactly. And for example, you're giving out one. I think the biggest thing that you're losing out without having with only one wolf is the movement and
Yeah.
the one ball carrier.
Yeah.
And because yeah, you could argue that you have only one claw,
Mm,
but most of the time you're not blocking with both of them. You're most of the time you have the mighty blow tackle, so
mm,
it's one of those. It's down to percentages, like
mm.
single percentages, which is better, and it's depends on the team that you're facing.
Yeah. All right. Jeho. We've got wood elves, which the second most populous elves, but only 12 teams are bringing them in, so not that
Yep.
popular.
Yep.
Oh,
I think this is one of those things that are the limits of our player base is shown here. Like there are a few difficult choices that we had to make. Wood elf is one of those.
mm,
One of them. Jeho was training with Skaven as well. They're not great as
mm,
either,
mm,
and but he's one of those. He's been playing forever. He's a young guy, like young. Well, not young compared to. Depends who you're talking to, but he's not 50. Let's put it that way.
he's not
But
50.
he Yeah, but he's been playing for a long time, and he's been playing a lot of Wood Elves. So,
Mm,
like, I would put him with Wood Elves in any position against anyone, and
mm,
I'd be happy with that matchup. Yeah,
mm, yeah. Oh,
I hate playing against him. He's a just all around solid player.
mm, mm. I'm a little. It is one of those like. Do you think he ever considered not bringing the Treeman as a Wood Elf? Because like I'm generally a fan of the Treeman in other teams, but the fact that this Treeman doesn't have like the timber to help it get up if it gets knocked down, like it is just one of those things that like makes me really even on it, especially considering he's only got 11 players and he doesn't have an Apo with like so.
But
Do you
I think that's the reason why he brings the Treeman is
it,
to have one solid guy who's not gonna get off the pitch.
yeah,
Even though there's gonna be those matches when the 3-man routes on return one, and
yeah,
then it's not gonna be enough fun. But I think the good Wood Elf coaches can play around that.
no,
Um, it's I like it. I like the Treeman. I think like if you know the Finnish saying that if you're gonna block the Treeman, you get the Bölja mine. That's it's the stupidest move ever. Like in any matchup, it's a stupid move to do anything
yeah,
other than avoid the treatment.
yeah. And Juicy Beer in the chat says that Jeho was apparently the World Cup's best Wood Elf player, which is like,
He was, yeah.
yeah,
He has
not
he
a.
has the mug to prove it. Yeah,
I mean, not an easy accolade to get, probably. Like Wood
yeah.
Elves are a very popular team, like generally speaking. So
I don't remember his result from the World Cup, but I'd say it was around something 6-1
mm.
or six,
Mm.
something like, and then that shows he's gonna be a difficult opponent with Wood Elves
Yeah,
anytime. It's not the best rule set for them, but they're playable.
no. All right. Yopotsuki. We got the vampire player here. It's it is the like I think this is the if you take 6 vampires, this is the general lineup. I think there
Yeah.
is at least some of the teams have, instead of having leader on the vampire thrower, they have another dodge in there.
hmm
But yeah, what
I
like
think the biggest thing that there is missing is the strip ball, and I think
mm,
that is one of the things that we discussed this that with him, and
mm,
he ended up going with this one, and I said it okay, you do you, and I would play with it myself with the strip ball,
mm,
probably strip ball frenzy on the blitzers,
mm.
and well, maybe bring the block to the thrower instead of a dodge or something like that.
Yeah,
Just I think that's the vanilla build
yeah,
at the moment.
no,
But it's a difficult roster to play. It's a team with potential in every round of the game, and it's a lot of training to get really good with them. So, and
mm,
I think we were discussing almost to the end of the roster deadline that is he gonna go with the vampires, and he ended up going with it.
no,
But as vampires are swingy.
yeah.
Sometimes you get the ones, and sometimes you don't get any of them, and everything is easy after that.
Yeah. And I mean, it is one of those where like I'm undecided on it myself as well. I mean, I'm no vampire coach, but I'm leaning at least like with the EuroBowl rule set, like with it being more bash heavy. I feel that like the six vampire roster, because like you have that additional strength 4 player and that additional like hypno gaze like ability, like that's gonna make the difference, I think, compared to having maybe a more like less self-destructive roster with just the 5 vampires.
Yeah, yeah. And I think most go with the double blitzers, even though it is a risk.
Yeah. Juicy Bear says the frenzy is a real threat in many situations combined with hypno. Counter stand firms and sidestep, and can't even sort of double LOS safely at the sidelines. Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Very true. And I mean, but it's one of those things, right? Like, especially on the Vampire Blitzer, like, in the sense of, like, he bloodlusts on a 3+, and then, like, Frenzy can get you into a troublesome position because of, Frenzy, right? And, like, it's just one of, like, having played a bunch of Corn, not like myself, like, on online, it, like, I've come to the sort of, like I've liked having, like, one Frenzy player in a lot of teams, like,
Hmm.
but, like, uh, in a, like, and there is only one Frenzy here, but, like, combine that with the bloodlust and the general sort of, like, those rerolls are very precious to vampires because of the, like, the nature of the team, right? So, and like, Frenzy with no block, like, sure, he's got Juggernaut, which does help, like, it does help quite a bit, but, like, without block, Frenzy it just can hurt so badly.
Mm. I think with that strength 4 player, it's one of those. Um, I think it's just you need to have the frenzy on them. But but I think, like, it's one of those, like, I kind of like to think that everyone hates the vampire roster. They either hate playing against them or they hate playing with them.
Mm.
it's it's one of those, like, it takes a lot of concentration, a lot of thinking that other teams just don't have built into the roster.
Yeah.
So it's I don't envy Yopo for playing this. Even though I'm at the moment, I've kind of taking a fancy to them myself, and I'm trying them out online and stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
But just because we don't have much vampire players in Finland at the moment,
Mm.
at least, like, serious players. So
Mm-mm.
we just because it's one of those, if Games Workshop doesn't get rid of the 2+ Hypno,
Mm.
I think they're gonna be a solid team probably forever if
Yeah.
they get the skills and cash.
Yeah. Absolutely. What about Yupatsuki himself as a coach? What can you tell us about him?
He's our old captain. Is I'd say he's a bit swingy. He's had his really good tournaments. He's had some tournaments that haven't been going as well. So he's one of I kind of he's a question mark. I expect him to draw every time, and I think there's a lot of potential in his play. But he's from our, like, from my perspective, is one of those, a bit of a question mark
Mm.
in that sense.
Mm. A swingy team for a swingy coach, I mean, is a
Yeah,
seems like a great combo to have.
I
We
think
got. Mm?
yeah, I think that's why he kind of likes the vampires in a
Mm.
way, even though it's been difficult at times for him.
Mm. We got Super G in the chat again. He does not tilt in games often, so in that regard, he's consistent. And, like, that is a very valuable skill overall as a Blood Bowl coach. But I feel that, like, for vampires specifically, because they have those unique failure points, right? Like, that you have to quickly think on your feet if a bloodlust happens at the wrong time in the wrong place, right? Like, you have to then suddenly make changes of plans, and, like, having a cool head under that situation is very important.
Yeah, that's it. And the comment that Juicy Beer has, that, like, in a way we have it's hard to say, is it a meta chasing a scene altogether, or is it a meta avoiding team? Like, we have few themes that, for example, Jeho has been playing Wood Elf forever, and no
Mm-mm.
one really has tried playing Wood Elves consistently because of that.
Mm.
Because it's one of those things. If Jeho is tries to go to the EuroBowl with Wood Elves, he's gonna be on the team with Wood Elves.
Mm.
So people don't take it up, and I think that has happened with Amazons a bit. People have, because they're just so strong, but and people have been trying them out.
Mm.
But I still, I think more people could try them out, even though I've been playing there for a few years now.
Mm-mm. All right. Moving on to one of the one of the less common picks for this tournament. We got Nameless and some Orcs.
I think that is the biggest surprise for like from our meta standpoint. I
Mm,
think orcs are the most solid, one of the most solid teams in this rule
mm,
set. They get everything that they want. Okay, they don't, for example, get uh easily the rerolls and the players and the APO, but
mm,
that's been the default setting for orcs for a long time.
mm, mm,
So in a way, they have strength, they have a lot of guard, they have mighty blow, they have the frenzy that they want.
mm,
I really like and they're I think they're a decent team in this meta. I think the Tomb Kings is the one weakness that they have in
mm,
here, because and I really I really don't get why other teams don't play them as much. I think maybe it's our meta is a bit different or something like that. But
mm. I
I
mean,
played them a bit as well at some points. But
mm.
yeah,
I mean, I think that uh, like the thing with the current rule set of like because I've seen like orc rosters before that weren't like EuroBowl like rosters, and a lot of people like putting block on at least a couple of the big end blockers, right? Because it just gives that stability to your strength four pieces, and then you got a couple of guard on on the blitzers instead for more mobile guard, right? Like
yeah,
it and very similar to like people's feelings on I think Lizardmen is that like just missing those blocks on the strength four pieces that they would in other rule sets that they would have has turned
yeah,
a lot of people away from the orc roster.
yeah. I totally understand that, and when I played orcs, I had I had I think a single or two big ones with blocks, and I love those pieces.
Mm,
And yeah, but I think they're a solid team. Just because they're a bit slow. So, for example, that's the same thing with dwarves.
mm,
You need to know what you're doing. You can, if you're playing a good coach and you don't get any removals, it can be difficult if you don't know when to move, when to solidify your position and stuff
mm,
like that. But I think Nameless is one of our newer coaches. He's a first timer in EuroBowl. He was in Athens in European.
mm, mm.
Um, Played very different roster, but he's been training a lot, and I get the feeling that he's a good fit for the team.
Yeah. We had Super G in the chat saying that he thinks that the orcs are a bit of an underrated team in the top eight, and I would agree. Like I think that orcs are just because again, as I said, I think orc coaches are turned off by the fact that you don't get block on the big end blockers. I think they might have been a little bit too sour on the team, quick to sour on the team. But as Juicy Bear points out, like for a lot of squads, it like it's very reasonable that it could be a question of like, are we gonna bring orcs or are we gonna bring dwarves? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
and because of the everyone knows that there's gonna be shitloads of Amazons. Like I feel that like dwarves are gonna win more often than not that contest between one or the other.
yeah. It's not the easiest matchup, but in a way, like I think Amazons still have a good chance in that matchup as
Mm
well.
mm
I personally prefer the dwarves to orcs,
mm
just because of that they don't have the strength.
mm
Of course, you're gonna have to roll more dice than you would like
mm
to, but you don't have any strength four in the dwarves. You don't have, and there's gonna be those games that you just don't get the
mm mm
removals against Amazons, and
mm.
those are the ones that they just cannot beat.
Yeah. But yeah, as for the orc roster that Nameless is taking himself is the again he has no guard on the blitzers. He's gone for two mighty blows, a frenzy, and a tackle blitzer. Which is I'm not sure we've seen that before. In this, there's been a couple of orc rosters that we've seen, but uh, The last one that springs to mind had a trained troll in it instead, and had a guard on that. So,
Okay.
but yeah, it's I do appreciate, like, I as I said, I like the idea of having a frenzy piece in the team. So I really do like the addition of the frenzy blitzer, and as we both I think agree, like having one tackle can be a lifesaver in a lot of matchups. So having the tackle blitzer is key, I think, as well.
Yeah, I like that too. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea
Mm.
looking at you, Supa, but
Mm.
we've had a lot of long late night discussions about tackle, but let's not get into that. But uh, but yeah, I think it's a good thing to have all those tools in their tool belt. He has two mighty blows and stuff like that.
Yeah. Super G says that I was just about to say I would swap the tackle for leader. Do you really
I
need 3 rerolls on an orc, or 4 rerolls with the leader on an orc team? Do you?
I think it's mostly like he doesn't appreciate the tackle as much, and
Yeah.
that's uh, that's the biggest
Oh, it's
reason
for
behind.
Apple. Okay.
Yeah,
Apple on an orc team seems slightly unnecessary. I'll be real.
it's lovely to have it, but it's difficult to have most of the time because
Yeah.
you don't have the cash for it.
Yeah. But yeah, you mentioned that Nameless is one of a newer crop of coaches that's been coming into the EuroBowl scene.
Yeah, he's been playing like very actively in our tournament scene for 2-3 years at the moment,
Mm,
and it's one of those things. I really wanted some new blood in the team.
mm,
Unfortunately, I cannot count Alexi as a new blood because he's been
mm.
durable multiple times.
Yeah.
But I think it is good for we're a small scene and we need to spread the experience. And I'm not I'm that's the one thing that I'm not happy about this team,
Mm,
that I couldn't squeeze in one more newer player into
mm,
the team.
mm,
And yeah, because it's just it's a in a way investment for the future. But I had to do what was according to statistics
mm,
the
mm.
best choice for the team.
No. No. Absolutely keeping that national competitive up. Like, I understand wanting to get new people, and like it's good for the growth and their personal growth as a coach to get the experience, as well as like good for the growth of the community. I think, to see that it's not, as you mentioned, like with the captain having so much power, like in the Finnish team selection, like it's good to have that confirmation that you're not just gonna stick to the same guys that and you've been doing things for so long, right? Like, getting that
Yeah,
new blood in, like, is
and
uh
that is a definite risk in our scene, that
mm,
there might be people have been saying to me that I've they're happy with how I've run things, but there's always gonna be differences of opinion
mm,
in the details. So
mm, mm,
there's always things that you could do differently, and I think that's the biggest reason why it's a good thing to have a
mm,
change in the future, so that it's there's gonna be different guys doing the choosing, and different guys gonna do. There's gonna be probably things that they do better, and there's gonna be things that they do worse, and
mm,
that's part of life.
absolutely. All right. Rat Ogre is up next. I'm sure Rat Ogre is probably one of those players that doesn't really need introduction to the international community. Like, I'm like, most of the time
Yeah.
when I'm talking to, when I've been talking to people from other teams, like, if they know a person who's on the Finnish team, like, Rat Ogre is generally one of the first names that comes up as
Yeah, he's one of our ambassadors.
mm,
There are a few of our ambassadors, and Radogr is one who's definitely every time does really good in the tournaments, but he's still a very decent guy and fun
mm,
to hang around with. And yeah, I'm just looking, the Spanish people were in Finland this summer, and they gave Radogr a new nickname. It was something like Maybe Juicy Beer can help me or something like that. It was something very manly in Spanish, but yeah.
Yeah, we've got Poi Poi 85 in the chat says that everyone knows Rat Ogre, and Jusipir is Rat Ogre's Blood Bowl career is probably older than the youngest coach in EUROBOWL team, which is
Definitely is.
um which is in a way now, like, I'm looking at the roster though that he's bringing in. It's certainly it's not the
Personal.
usual shambling undead roster.
Yeah, and I think he's trying to help, like as Super commented that they're not the best defensive team at
Mm
times.
mm
And for example, the frenzy is one of those tools that you'd love to have.
mm
It's one of those, like, for example, I don't know. I understand the possibilities that have it, but I don't have the experience. I wouldn't play that roster just
mm
because of that. And there's the El Macho
mm
Legendario is
mm mm.
the Spanish called.
Yeah. That is a great nickname to be given. I'll be honest.
Yeah, hoping to build up to that, but I'm guessing that's preserved for him.
Yeah,
Only him.
yeah. But yeah, no, it's. I mean, I can see the utility of a ghoul runner with frenzy. Like I can see it. It again, the fact that he doesn't have any, like, he doesn't have block, he doesn't have wrestle, he doesn't have even juggernaut, like, in built in. He's gonna make that a, and he's only strength 3, like, with a 3+ agility to try and get out of, like, squeaky spots. Like, it's certainly a gamble in my opinion. And
Yeah.
and then you look at the two mummies and you go, well, he doesn't have a guard on the mummy. He has a block on one of them, and the other one's naked, and that's a
Yep.
much bigger shock to me than anything else.
He's been playing with naked mummies for since childhood. So and he says that that's the way to play. That's his play style,
Mm,
and he's been bringing the results. So
mm,
I really can't argue with him on that.
mm. But yeah, Super G says that I think this team is trying too much to fix some issues that the faction has, and interesting to see how it performs. I'm certainly interested in seeing how this team performs, because, like, I'm I'm trying to think of, like, I did check a couple of, like, have checked a couple of undead rosters before this one, and none of them like, ever had a naked mummy. Like, it's just, to me, I've played some undead before, but, like, not recently, and, like, to me, just the idea of playing with a naked mummy and then a block mummy, like, not having that safety, I feel, that you get for just having a strength 5 piece with no negative trait on it and then putting guard on it. Like, it just baffles me in a way that like, this is yeah. And I mean, again, if he's been doing good work with it, then I cannot contest the fact that this works for him. But
Yeah, I think it can be a bit swingy in a way. Like, definitely the guards are good to have, and it's one of those. If you get your guard mummy in the right place, you're not gonna lose it from that spot ever.
yeah.
But but I think it fits his playstyle in a way. Like,
Mm.
and this is one of those things, like, we don't have 20 shambling undead
Mm,
coaches.
mm,
We have 2 or 3, and that might be even pushing it.
mm.
And people just it's hard to say what you would do differently, especially when he's doing really good, or even he's been one of our best players in one few Eurobowls.
Mm, mm,
So he's been very consistent. So that's why I really can't argue against this.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, as I said, will be very interesting to see other teams' reactions to this undead roster that they probably aren't expecting to like.
Oh, they're just gonna be too drunk playing.
Yeah.
Just, that's their weakness.
Yeah. But yeah. Super G does say that this is a nightmare to play against orcs, Khemri, or Amazons, and I can see how this, like, compared to a more traditional lineup, this could struggle against that certainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to wait and see, and hopefully we get good results from Rat Ogre.
Yeah.
Weakness or a superpower? That's an interesting question. Yeah. And
But he's one of our big personalities in it, definitely.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we seem to be gathering quite a few big personalities. I'll be honest. It's like a lot of people have told me that, with Bear as well, but like also Bruto Patia, I think, has impressed quite a lot of people. Like in that, like Finland has a reputation for being very personality full, shall we put it like that, which is
Yep.
when you think of the normal, like the standard Finnish stereotype, us being very personable and cheery and social is is a bit of a twist, I feel, on the general perception of Finns.
Yep, I have to say, like, it's all down to Beer and his antics that have been. He's started a reputation that we have to keep up, and it can be rough, yeah.
Poi Poi says the best team going out drinking with, and that if nothing else is a glory to, like, that is a good reputation to have.
Yeah.
Like
We adopted Poi Poi in Malta. He was one of the Finns. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, we've got the Amazon representative.
Yeah, I'm the asshole on our team.
Yeah. No, I like looking at the roster. This is pretty much the if I were to play Amazons, this is the roster that I would bring. I think, like, there's a whether or not I would change the block on the line woman to a wrestle as well. I'm a little bit of two minds of that, but like for now, this is exactly the roster that I would take.
I think there's at the moment there's not that many variation. It's either this one or the one with one blocker and one guard. But I think this, especially now that there's less of wood elves, that this is the roster to go with. And I've played this so many times in different ways. I love it. It's your solid team, and you're just doing your country a disservice if you don't bring this.
Yeah.
It is especially in this rule set, they're just silly strong. And as you can see from my rating, it has gone up this year quite a bit because of that. So thank you, Hungary, Team Hungary, for that. It's been good year because of that. Might win our Finnish championship with these rules. Let's see. But I love this team heart. But it in a way it's gonna be, this is the year that I have to do better. I have to do better. I have the best like the meta roster this time. This time I'm the captain, and of course I have to do work with this team. It's there's no excuse to that. If I don't, in a way, two is not enough. So I have to do better this time, and just for the team, because there's gonna be people playing with harder rosters, and but there are, of course, Amazons have few weaknesses, but there's not as much elves this time, and so on. No, I really don't. I really miss a tackle on this team. I would love to have one block more, one tackle somewhere, but there's just no space.
Yeah. Now, Juicy Beer says definitely double guard Jaguars over guard block, and then Super G says, yeah, double guard warrior to me is the same as double werewolf. You need them both in tight games versus top coaches, but the block warrior probably saves from disasters in certain games.
Yeah, it's I've played with both rosters. I've taken both to really big tournaments, and I love both. when I'm playing with one, I'm always thinking like, why have this one? Why don't I have the other one?
Yeah.
But think people playing against me are more miserable when I have two guards. So I think that is
Mm.
that is the indicator that the two guards is the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's an endorsement of the two guard roster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super G also says block or wrestle blitzer is really tricky. Do you lean more towards hit and run or the jump up movement 7 sweeper build? And I think there's merit in that, but like I personally, I just hit and run is just such a unique and good sort of skill to have on the Piranha Warrior that I feel it's a little bit of a shame if you ever have to like wrestle while you still have like movement left to take advantage of the hit and run, right?
Yeah, and in a way, the sweeper movement 6 dodge line woman with the wrestle
Mm.
is so good of a sweeper.
Mm.
So many teams would love to have that,
Mm.
and we just have it built in the pack. So I think it's why not use that and have the advantage of two of one. Like with blocks, the blitzers are one of the best players in the whole game. I have to say they're in a way like I'll link away to it.
Yeah,
Swiss
Swiss
Army
Army
knife.
knife. Yeah.
They do whatever you want them to do, and they can score, they can defend, they can sack the players, and it was just amazing. And if I would have a wrestle on the other one, I lose the block.
Yeah.
I think that is the biggest reason why I had two ones. It's not that I wouldn't like to have wrestle at times, but if I lose one, I need one of them.
Yeah. Super G says hit and run is probably the best skill in the game. Like out of honestly, I mean, it's a very strong one, but hypnotic gaze, like it's
Block.
just yeah. Yeah, block. Yes, like it's the basic of the basics, and it's a hell of a skill to have, like block, but. Hypnotic,
I,
just to me, hypnotic gaze it can open up so many avenues, like of doing things, right? So
I think the combination of a very agile team that can even scrap against very strength heavy teams
mm,
in that context, hit and run is amazing.
yeah, no,
And I think that is that thing like hypnogaze is one of those niche skills that you only have. Was there one or two stars that have it, and
yeah,
only vampire.
yeah.
So
There's Eldril and
I'm not sure if anyone the vampire stars
oh yeah,
have
the
it.
vampire, yeah, Luther, Count Luther or whatever his name is, yeah,
Yeah. But so it's a luxury to other people, but in a way, like it just gives you an extra thing that they didn't usually before that do. So
yeah,
it's just amazing,
yeah,
especially now that Blood Bowl 2-3 got it right, and they change it so that you can hit and run after the armor,
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
before that.
yeah. But yeah, that I mean, as said, like we did like we may be missing a couple of the more popular picks, like especially the dwarf, but like we got good reasons for why that is the case, and I don't think I don't think it's one of those where like as you said, like in regards to like Amazons, it's like if you're not bringing an Amazon team, then you're not really like maybe bringing your full potential is the best way to say it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like unlike like there's arguments to be made against like not bringing dwarves in favor of bringing orcs or bringing tomb kings, which would be like the closest to equivalence. So yeah, no, I
yeah,
think like and as you said, like the people who are bringing in something a little less popular, like Jeho in particular, like being a sort of specialist at Wood Elf for so many years, right? Like
yeah, yeah.
there's reason to be confident in him bringing Wood Elves, even though they're less popular than they probably have been before.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. But with that, we move on to the sort of last sort of big topic of discussion here, which is So what are the expectations? We covered it a little bit already in that, in like you have expectations for yourself to do better than the 2-2-2 record that you put out in Athens, but like
Yeah.
overall, the podium is that the goal? Like is that the start line or is that the finish line?
I think if we can improve on our record, that is the realistic goal.
Mm.
I think we were number 7 last time, if I
Mm-hmm.
remember
Yeah,
correctly.
I believe so. Yeah.
Uh, and it was a really good result in the end, even though there was a lot of heartbreak and stuff that could have been better, but at the same time, it could have been worse as well.
Mm.
So I think if we keep hold of the top 10 position, that is the realistic. That's the thing that I want to get out of this tournament.
Mm. Mm.
Of course, if we get the big countries and we get a good matchup, we play our best. I think that is the what we want out of it.
Mm.
Of course, this time we're gonna beat Sweden and we're gonna get the podium
Yeah.
definitely. And that's the thing that I almost let myself hope for last time, and
Mm.
this time I'm definitely saying that we're aiming for the podium. But
Mm.
but I'm begrudgingly saying that I'm okay with top 10.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. And as you already covered, I think I think Sweden is probably on the number one on the list of teams that like we'd wish to face and then beat at EuroBowl. It is a classic rivalry for our two countries. So
Yeah,
certainly.
and even though my scene doesn't like me
Mm.
saying anything good about Sweden, but I love the guys. There's a bunch of very fun guys to hang out with and play against.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with that, we're coming up to the end of the interview. So if I'm gonna take the first step here in before is I definitely want people to know more about the Finnish the Finnish major that's gonna be coming up in a like very near future, shall we say it like that?
Yeah, it's I think this is the biggest year for the Finnish tournament scene. Um, we've had um, we've had a few crazies come to the northern parts of Finland and play in the snow in true open. We had a bunch of Spanish guys, a few other stragglers from Germany, was it Belgium and UK that came to play in Summer Bowl. But then Finnish national is the big deal. So it started November.
Mm.
Um, it's going to be played. I think was it in Vantaa? You Juice, you can confirm. Was it on the side of Vantaa? But Juicy left the link in the
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
Go for it and come and beat us. Beat us. There might be a crown for you if you come. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. But I think definitely our tournament scene has continued growing. The tournaments are bigger, they're better. We have it's just a great time to play Blood Bowl in Finnish tournament scene.
Mm-hmm.
I can leave it at that. And we had a bunch of Spanish people that we took them to the sauna for the first time and stuff like that. It's just a great to see the foreigners in Finland and have fun with them.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I know. As Juicy Beer also said, only 8 spots left in the nationals. So if you're interested, and you should definitely act now rather than leaving it on the back burner. But
Yeah, and I think if you can't make it this year, come
mm,
next year, there's gonna be we're gonna try to be as gracious host as possible. We're gonna pick you up at the airport. You're gonna get some have some fun times with the locals, and yeah, we're just improving every year. So just look out for. We have our Blood Bowl site, like website is bloodbowl.fi,
Mm.
and either that or just send some of us a message. If you don't know anyone else, you'll know Red Ogre anyway, so ask him.
I mean, I do have to say, by the way, that like, just it does sound maybe more than a little bit sketchy of going like, "Hello, foreigner, come on over to Finland. We'll pick you up at the airport, and you're gonna have a great time with the locals. Trust me." Like, it's like when you put it like that, it does come across as maybe a little sketchy, but
that's the part of our charm.
Yeah. But yeah,
we're gonna have fun, even if you don't want any fun. Yeah.
Yeah, jump in the party and I will take you to the sauna. Exactly. All right, but with that, once again, thank you for making the time and being here again, and always appreciate it. And
Hey, great! You're doing great work for the scene, and it's great that you take your personal time and invite people to talk about. It's there's not that much. There's that not that many places to talk about Blood Bowl, and I love that you've done the legwork that and taking your time.
yeah, yeah, and I mean, like, I mean, I enjoy talking about Blood Bowl as much as everyone else. So it is like as much as I curse the dice gods and the game at times, because I think we've all been there with Blood Bowl on occasion. But yeah, I do like the hobby, and I like how the scene is growing and the competition. So yeah, I'm as much indulging myself in talking to national team captains about Blood Bowl for an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours at time. Like, so
Yeah.
But yeah, well, once again, I have said this before. I am biased towards Team Finland, so I am gonna be cheering for you throughout the tournament. And hoping that the boys can bring in a very good result. And I mean, obviously, everyone's gonna have a great time at EuroBowl. That's about like that. That is pretty much a given at this point. I feel it is just such a great event to go to and be a part of. So
Definitely.
Definitely. I'm not sure. I don't think it's 1995 anymore. It's
if there are Swedes present, it's gonna be the Glidarin.
I mean, yeah, very, very true. I mean, it's it's very true. But maybe we should, like, some of the younger folks. Maybe they need to do, like, I don't know, like a remix of the classic, like, just to get on with the times. Because I feel at this point even the Swedes are gonna get a little bit like tired of hearing it. So
that's great, because we're not.
Yeah, true enough.
One of my most precious memories in Blood Bowl is the Swedish Championship, when was it the first time or second time we were playing in the first spot for the whole tournament, and the last round they introduced the teams, and we got to choose the team, and we chose, of course, Denglida. And I saw 120 Swedish faces turning to us when we started playing. It was glorious.
I can imagine. And I mean, hey, always go, like, you guys are probably aiming for the hat trick already, so, like, why not?
Yeah, definitely we're gonna.
But with that, I need to get my prep going, because I have the Scottish captain coming in about 10 minutes. So thank you for being thank you for being here once again. Thank you for everybody who's watching. Always appreciated. I hope you'll be here in 10 minutes now. And as I always say, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning. Whatever happens to be the time of day for you, have a good one.